Entering the Promised Land, a journey fulfilled. In the heart of the wilderness, on the eastern banks of the Jordan River, the Israelites stood on the cusp of a promise long awaited, the land of Canaan, their promised land. After 4 decades of wandering, trials, and tribulations, the moment had come for them to cross the river and claim the inheritance God had pledged to their ancestors. The Israelite camp stretched along the eastern banks of the Jordan River, a vast congregation of people who had endured 40 years of desert wandering. Moses, their venerable leader, stood before them, his face bearing the wisdom of years of trials and guidance. His staff, weathered by the journey, was a symbol of the miracles and challenges they had faced together. As he addressed the multitude, there was a palpable sense of anticipation and excitement in the air. The Jordan River flowed swiftly before them, its waters shimmering in the sunlight but carrying a sense of divine calm. Moses spoke with a voice filled with the weight of their shared history. He recounted their long and arduous journey from the land of Egypt, the place of their enslavement. He spoke of the trials they had faced, the hunger, the thirst, and the doubts. But he also reminded them of the miracles they had witnessed, the parting of the Red Sea, the manna from heaven, and the guidance they had received from the Almighty. As he spoke, his words invoked memories of those awe-inspiring moments, and the Israelites listened with a mixture of reverence and nostalgia. Their journey had been arduous, but it had also been marked by the divine presence that had led them every step of the way. Amidst the assembly, a divine presence manifested itself in a pillar of cloud. It descended upon the gathering like a shroud of radiance, signifying God's presence among His chosen people. His voice resonated like thunder, filling the air with a sense of majesty and awe. God spoke of the land of Canaan, the promised land that lay before them, a land flowing with milk and honey, abundant and fertile. He assured the Israelites that this was the inheritance He had promised to their forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It was a covenant that had sustained them through their trials, and now, it was time to fulfill that promise. As the people listened to God's words, their hearts swelled with hope and gratitude. The promised land, a place of abundance and blessing, was within their reach. The trials and tribulations of their long journey had prepared them for this moment. They knew that the crossing of the Jordan River would not be without its challenges, but with God's guidance, they were ready to face whatever lay ahead. The Israelites had come to trust in the divine providence that had guided them through the wilderness. They knew that this journey was not just about geography. It was a spiritual pilgrimage, a journey of faith and obedience to God's command. They were called to be a holy nation, a people set apart, and the promised land was to be their sacred inheritance. Moses, as their faithful leader, encouraged them to be strong and courageous, for God would go before them. He reminded them that it was not by their own might or power that they would possess the land, but by the hand of God alone. Their obedience to God's commandments would be the key to their success and prosperity in the new land. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm, golden glow over the assembly, the Israelites prepared for the journey ahead. They knew that the crossing of the Jordan River would be a significant moment in their history, a symbolic passage from the wilderness into the land of promise. The priests carried the Ark of the Covenant, a symbol of God's presence among them, and as their feet touched the waters of the Jordan, a miracle occurred. The river's flow ceased, piling up in a heap upstream, allowing the Israelites to cross on dry ground. The moment was filled with a sense of awe and wonder. The people crossed with a profound sense of gratitude, their hearts filled with faith and trust in God's faithfulness. As they reached the western bank of the Jordan, they knew that they had entered the promised land, a land of hope and destiny. The story of entering the promised land is a testament to faith, endurance, and the fulfillment of divine promises. The Israelites, led by Moses, stood on the threshold of a new beginning, a land where they could live in accordance with God's laws and be a light unto the nations. As they prepared to cross the Jordan River and step into their destiny, they carried with them the legacy of their ancestors and the assurance of God's presence. It was a journey of faith that had brought them to this moment, and it was a journey of faith that would sustain them in the land of Canaan, their long-awaited home. Moses had fulfilled his divine mission, leading his people from slavery to the threshold of their promised inheritance, and his memory would forever be etched in the annals of their history. The promised land was theirs, a place where they could live in covenant with their Creator, a place of blessing, and a fulfillment of God's enduring promise to his people.